State Representative Tara Simmons has been spending an awful lot of time at the gun range for someone who thinks that guns should not exist in society. Let's talk about it in our segment, Unbelievable. Okay, for those who didn't see our segment on the show last week, it was an unDivided exclusive, although I have to give some credit to our friends at Outlaw Radio Network in Kitsap County because they alerted me to the existence of these pictures. So State Representative Tara Simmons, we talk about her on the show a lot, very pro-criminal, maybe because she spent time in prison herself. So she posted a picture on her Facebook page of her at a gun range. And in it, she was holding what 4 independent gun experts tell us is probably an AR-15 with a 30-round magazine, both of which, of course, are banned for future sales in the state of Washington. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't shoot one that you already have or at a gun range if somebody already has it. She has said that this was her trainer's gun, but I thought it was quite interesting considering that she voted in 2023 to ban the very type of gun she's shooting there. In HB 1240, she was a yes vote to ban so-called assault weapons. And then in 2022, she was a yes vote to ban quote-unquote high-capacity magazines, which they deem any magazine that can hold over 10 rounds, which again, we asked 4 independent firearms experts to look at that photo, and they believe that is a 30-round magazine. So the gist of our story was hypocrisy overfloweth. Rules for thee, not for me. And she sent us a statement, which I just want to revisit because I think it sets up the update that we have today very well. She said, "It was only my second time shooting and it belonged to my trainer," referring to the gun. "I don't think regular citizens need to have these forms of firearms, but it was an experience for me to feel the differences in how firearms are handled. I stand by my vote to ban these and know it will take time for them to go away as they were grandfathered in." She does say, however, "I'd be open to an avenue for some citizens to have them under certain circumstances, especially after psychological evaluations." So after she's caught red-handed at a gun range, shooting a gun she voted to ban, using a magazine she voted to ban, she's saying, well, maybe I've softened a little bit. Maybe I do think that citizens should have these assault rifles under certain, her words, certain circumstances, like if they undergo a psychological evaluation, which is very interesting because our friend at Watchdog Washington on X, go follow him. I think he had to get a new account. It used to be Michael Easton, and then X for some reason banned him. So now he's at Watchdog Wa, a good account. He does a bunch of public records things. He immediately sent me an email that he got in a public records dump, and he'd had it. And he went back and found it after we did this story where Representative Tara Simmons, this is in 2023, she is emailing the Speaker of the House and some of her Democratic colleagues. And she says, "I am not opposed to responsible gun legislation. I want all guns gone in our society. I want all guns gone in our society." She goes on to say, "I simply don't want my people to be at risk of further criminalization for innocent conduct or to have less opportunity for employment and housing." That's weird. I don't know who my people are. Who's my people? Like former felons? Convicted felons? Because she got her record expunged, by the way. And her firearms rights restored, which, convenient, based on a bill that she helped get passed in the legislature, also convenient. So here she is trying to give us this statement that she's softened and all this. So you're telling me that you went from not wanting any guns in our society at all to now all of a sudden taking firearms training lessons at a course to learn how to, in your words, defend yourself as a woman? Using a gun you just voted to ban and a magazine you just voted to ban after telling your fellow Democrats that you want all guns gone in our society? But again, I go back, Nicole, can you go to that first picture, her Facebook post? Kind of sad that single women need to learn how to protect themselves these days. So you're at the gun range to learn how to protect yourself. So you believe, obviously, that a firearm is necessary as a single woman to protect yourself. But you also are passing laws that make it harder to do so and say you want all guns gone from society, which means that single women could not use guns to protect themselves. I don't know what's going on in her head. She is all over the place. All over the place. Guns are bad. No guns in society. Oh, I guess maybe you should be able to have an assault weapon, but only if you undergo a psychological evaluation. I don't think you should be able to use these guns, but I'm going to use these guns for self-defense. You don't need guns for self-defense, but I'm using a gun for self-defense to protect myself as a single woman. all over the place. Makes me seriously question her capability of being someone who makes laws in the state of Washington. If you're all over the place like that on an issue this important. And it also just shows to me, I bet you, because she was a felon, she got her record expunged, and she said her firearms rights were restored in 2023. So I bet you that these are the only 2 times that she's used a gun. And she clearly knew nothing about guns, nothing at all, when she went to pass laws that would impact your ability to use a gun. And that's true for so many Democrats. No interest, no effort to reach out to 2A advocates, to talk to women. You would hear so many people were lined up for all these bills to talk about how they wanted to be able to protect themselves and this would hurt their ability to protect themselves. You think Democrats listen to a single one of them? No. So it just shows that you have these lawmakers who go to Olympia and they make laws that all of us have to abide by about things they have no clue in the world about. And Tara Simmons is one of them. Absolutely unbelievable.